Yeah, hello, welcome back again. My name is Pau Kroon and I'm gonna be your host in this video about learning Power Apps. And today we're gonna go on our form controls and our gallery. And as I said in the last video, we're now gonna build some data, or we're gonna build a collection which we can use only in the app. And why do I want to build collections? Is because sometimes I have an idea for an app, the customer doesn't see it, and I want to build a concept. And basically the client has some Excel files with like registration types, and I want to add a collection in my app without connecting it to the data source and doing my flows and everything. So I do two things: one with information from the customer, which is normally based in Excel or we make up ourselves, and sometimes I want to get some information from my data source. Just do a select statement and say, okay, I want to generate a collection with this, and use that in my app to show the customers without setting up all the connections and all the logic. And I make some tools. This is going to be a really great video because I'm going to share these tools with you, and you're going to see how easy it is to generate just a concept. So I hope you're going to be thrilled, and let's go to Power Apps to show you what we are going to do. So here we have our app, and let's take this out and let's run it. We have a gallery and we have a form, and on the gallery we want to have some information, and on the form we want to connect this field to a data source. And there we have some tricks also, because what I notice is that when I build a combo box, I have to connect the data every time in the same manner, and sometimes the display field shifts when I make a change to my app, and then the customer says, okay, I don't see the customer name, but I see the ID, and that's based on alphabetic ordering, which is taking place in the backend. So after 3 times I was done with it, so I came with a solution. So basically this is gonna be a really great video, really. Believe me, you're gonna be thrilled and you're gonna be flabbergasted after you see what we're gonna do now. So let's start. So let's first start with making a select statement. I have a demo database, and let's say you see something from a later in this video. So let's run a view or a select statement. In this time a view, and normally I could make a select statement and say, okay, this is the data set I want to use in my app, and work with it. So what you can do in SQL Server is copy with headers, and then here is my application, and it's Excel application. And what does this do? This application just built a collection for you. So you can start typing in here, you can post information from another CSV file or another Excel file which the customer uses, or a data source in this case, and just let Excel build a collection for you, which you can bring into your Power App and just start when you start your app, and use locally without setting up all kinds of connections. So let's first copy it, and I noticed there went something wrong. You can keep the control click down, just drag it up, and there is a copy. And let's say we gonna paste the things we just had, and I see the first line isn't properly formatted, so I'm gonna do that before I'm gonna share this with you. And this is because of the of how a table works in Excel. Basically I had some different setups, and it's like a ghost here, but it doesn't matter for the rest. Let's carry on. So I see nulls here, and that's not what we want. So let's say if is null, then we just want to empty string and else have the 0, and the same here, because we have to fix this somewhere, and we can do that on multiple places, but here it's the easiest. Let's run it again. Now we have nulls and empty cells here. Let's give it a label. And basically we should do that also on the other places, but let's show you how you can do this also. So let's copy this with headers, go to our Excel, go to the header, because the header is used here on the right side, and I will show you in just a minute. Registration. Did I do something wrong here? Let's start over and copy and paste. So this should be 1 and this should be a number. But as I said, I'm gonna fix that. So basically what we have now is a table, and you see here there's an output 1, and the output 1 is like an identifier. Let's say you don't have an identifier to your table, you can put in an ID, and when it's empty, you see on the left side the ID is gone. So we start with the registration ID, and it's just a very difficult formula which concatenate all the fields based on what stands here. So now here is a flaw in my settings of my Excel, because that's a regional thing and I have to change that. Normally I think on your side you don't have to do that, but instead of commas I need semicolons. So let's do it like this. This is gonna be a number, a number, a number. This is a text. Let's make it a text and copy it all to the back and see what we have to change. So we have a number, customer ID should have be a number, the date is a date, time gonna be text, it's okay, notes is a text. Okay, so now we build a collection, and here is my collection. You can rename this to let's say this is the registrations, or just put it RL. So now we have like 50 records, but it could also be hundreds or thousands, what you want to do. Now let's stand on the first column, do right click, select, and the entire table. So the headers is also selected. Copy this, go to Notepad++ or another edit what you use, paste it, do an extra I don't know how it's called, but to close it, do a paste, and you could see if it's right by setting this to Visual Studio or Visual Basic. Now we have a collection. Let's select all, copy this, and go to PowerApps and see if this works. Now I always have a build button to build my flows or to build other logic before I put it on my trigger, and let's see if this works here. So we have a clear collect, and let's trigger this by clicking build, and let's see if we have registration lines. So you see we now have a collection with hundreds or thousands registration lines, which we can load at the start of our application, just in the application, in our concept. So very powerful tool, I think. So let's copy this, and let's say this should be the registration lines. Start our new formula line and paste this in, and now we can trigger this on start of our app and have all the registration types. And of course we can say RL should be connected to here. And we can connect this to the registration ID, for example, and here to the customer name, and so on. So, and if we now click on a record and we would go to our variable, global variable, oh no, a local variable, let's say selected, sample selected, we have our record with all the attributes we got from our item. Now, how nice is that? So let's do this record, because this has a name for the customer. Go to the selected sample and see here all the elements are in this record variable. Okay, that's one way to do this, and this is easy when we have like Excel files where the customer works with on this moment and he has a list there. So we can generate a collection here very easily, or by hand if we want to just have it locally. Okay, that's the first tool. Now let's check out the second tool. And the second tool is a collection generator in an SQL script. So here you see a demo database, and let's say we want to add a customer list. So select all these rows. We can copy this then, go to the selector, paste it here, say only into a temp table, and this is a table variable which just takes the fields of the or select statement. So on the fly we create a temporary table based on different selection and joins we do. And then we have a collection name. So let's say these are customers. We have a collection which is a varchar max, and first we put in a line a clear collect with our collection name, a line feed and a tab and the first comma. Then we concatenate on that the collection plus, and let's go from the inside out the select of our temp table. So our total temp table will be selected and transformed to a JSON formatted file. So a text file, a JSON formatted text file with the convert varchar max. And then I replace some elements. And you see I replace here the first opening bracket and a comma, because every field gets a comma separator, and I have to take that away because the collection is without it. The second one is to take the second opening comma before the separator, the double points, by only a double point. Then I do the comma separator by a comma. I do the opening bracket from the whole file, the starting bracket, and I replace this part by the same, only with a line feed and a tab, just to format it easy. It's not necessary for the collection to work, but then we see what we do. At the end I say I want an extra line feed and a closing of my collection formula, and then at least at the end I drop my table. So let's generate this. So we generate a text format. We can copy this, go to here, and we have a collection. How cool is that? So let's copy this, go to PowerApps, and see if this works also. So we're gonna go on build. We select all, we delete it, we post in our variable, we do enter, go to our collection, and here is a customer collection with all the customers we just selected, and it could be thousands, no problem. So I think very cool tool. Now let's connect this customer to our, oh, here we have the sample text. We can say here we want the customer name, and here it's moaning because we don't have the sample head. And let's say we want to use the destination type name. So we have a visit, and for this customer. So let's run it. This customer, we have a visit type of registration here. And if we have another one, it's no visit, visit, visit. Let's see if we have another one. This is work at home. And normally, of course, you would have the customer here at the top and the work type in this case, but it doesn't matter for this video. So now I could carry on, but I think I'm gonna end this video here with this tooling. And in the next video, I'm gonna set up the combo box, because I have a peculiar way in setting that up that it makes it possible to copy your combo box. Just put in your data source with some filters, and then it works. Easy as that. So I hope to see you in the next video where we're gonna do that. And I hope you like this one. And I'm gonna share these tools through a link and use it, because it's wonderful. I think I'm always thinking it's impossible what is possible in the SQL server side, in generating types of documents, XMLs and whatever, and you gonna build it wherever you want. It's mind-blowing for me, because I'm just doing this for 7-8 months. But okay, so I hope to see you in the next video. If you like this, then please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next videos where we're gonna do cool stuff with the combo box. I'll see you there. Thanks.